What is going on, Phantom Army? It's your boy Phantom Stilts, and welcome back, guys, once again to a brand new video on the channel. Today we are taking a look at whether Call of Duty is something that's going to revamp the franchise. When I say Call of Duty, I mean obviously the new Black Ops 6. Or is it going to be a dud that's going to flame out in 3 to 6 months and it's just sort of a flash in the pan, something different from the norm? Let's talk about it, guys. All right, guys, so the main question on the table is, do I think, and me personally, do I like Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and do I think it's going to be a mainstay and a very good game in this franchise? And the answer is actually yes. I said in previous videos about the future of Call of Duty when I was reviewing the Zombies trailers, as well as, you know, my personal take on how Call of Duty's gone the past couple of years. This is a very refreshing game. I find myself wanting to play it. I find myself not getting as frustrated, and you guys know I do get frustrated sometimes on stream and playing multiplayer and that kind of thing. I'm not getting as frustrated about stuff that happens. I mean, it's always going to be stupid stuff that happens. Call of Duty games where you run into a room and somebody throws a grenade at the perfect time and it blows you up, and then there's trip mines and all that sort of stuff, right? That's all fine. That's all part of the game. I get that. But as far as the base game, the gunplay, movement, the nostalgia of Black Ops, them bringing back prestige mode, which I'm totally addicted to at this point. I want to keep prestiging. I want to keep unlocking guns. I'm going for the dark matter challenge for unlocking all the weapon camos and all that stuff. I have 5 or 6 guns already done. I have a full-time job, so I don't do that all the time. Like, I'm not progressing like rapidly through it or anything like that, but I am moving pretty fast, I think, for somebody that has a full-time job on top of doing YouTube. But there's a lot of things to be excited about with this game. The Omni movement, that's another thing. The Omni movement it adds such a dynamic to the game and the way you move around the map. I also feel that the sliding and the movement is just more fluid. You had a lot of like dead stops and stuff where I didn't feel like your momentum carried you very far in like the last 2 or 3 games before this, being Modern Warfare 3, the remake, the Modern Warfare 2 remake, and even Modern Warfare from 2019. Just they don't feel the same as this game. This game feels so much more fluid. It feels like you're able to fly around the map, depending on what weapon that you have as well. So that's another really cool thing. So the dynamics and the physics is feels like it's based on the type of weapon that you're holding. So if you're holding a sniper rifle, you're obviously going to be slow as shit. If you're holding a SMG or a pistol, you're going to be flying around, moving, all that kind of stuff really, really fast, which feels really, really realistic and really nice. The other thing I think is going to be a huge turning point for this game in general and games going forward is going to be the reinvention of Warzone, right? Treyarch is making Warzone. I believe they're making Warzone. It might be Activision or it might be Raven. It might be one of the other studios that's making Warzone, because when they did Modern Warfare 2, they split it up into factions. So DMZ was controlled by one studio, Warzone was controlled by one studio, and then the multiplayer was controlled by one studio. And then I think there was even a studio that did the campaign, which we won't even talk about the campaign for Modern Warfare 3 because it's just going to get me heated. Anyways, I think that's going to be a really big turning point to see what they do with Warzone and the reinvention of Warzone, especially on a new map, because we've seen Verdansk, we've seen, what was the other one, the tropical one? Caldera, right? We've seen those maps. We've seen Uzbekistan, which is okay. We've seen Vondel. We've seen a bunch of different really, really good portions of maps in Warzone. But I think it's going to be a big turning point to see what they do with the Omni movement and how they sort of build the map around that movement system, because it's unlike any movement system that has really been out. I like the fact that you can do like action shots and that kind of stuff with the movement. I think it's really cool. There's a reason why the campaign, like I said, got a 9 out of 10. The multiplayer got an 8, and I believe the zombies got an 8. So it's one of the highest rated Call of Duty games, regardless of studio, and probably the history of the franchise. I think we can all agree that Black Ops 2 and the original Modern Warfare series, especially COD 4 and Modern Warfare COD 4, that holds a special place in my heart. Those 2 games do, just because they were the pinnacle of COD. That was when people were having the most fun. It was something fresh, new, and all that kind of stuff. But as much as there is good about this game, there's also some bad stuff. I feel like the TTK is a little bit fast. It's not horrendously fast. It's not like Cold War, which is a huge plus, but it is a little fast for me. What I will say is the maps need some work. I hope they come out with better maps that are not just 3-lane Call of Duty maps. They actually feel dynamic and not realistic, because that's not what Call of Duty is. It's not about realism. It's about, you know, action, adventure, and that kind of stuff. But I sort of wish that they were laid out a little bit differently. The movement feels kind of clunky around some of the maps, especially Vorkuta, and there's one more that I'm forgetting. I believe that it is Lowtown. Lowtown is not my favorite map. I just don't like the whole water aspect. So I would say the maps need a little bit of work. The TTK needs a little bit of work. And then I would probably say my third thing is probably the spawns. The spawns feel very, very, very repetitive. Like you'll die and you'll spawn in the exact same place like 4 or 5 times before it flips the spawns. I feel like if you die like 2 to 3 times, it's not like, this is the thing, right? Is that there's a lot of things that you could say that are wrong with this game that have been horrendously bad and worse in previous games. That's what I'm saying, is that this game is a very, very good base game. Even the stuff that I'm harping on, it's little nitpicky stuff about a certain issue. It's not even the whole issue. Like, I'm not saying the maps are just trash and garbage. There's a little bit that they could do to fix it. The TTK, not horrendously fast, easily manageable. I can deal with it. It's not a big deal. You have to find sort of like good and bad in games, because if you just talk about the good, it's not a perfect game, and I don't think you'll ever find a perfect game. Even Black Ops 2 had problems, but it was a fun game. It was people enjoyed. It's what people want out of Call of Duty, and I feel like this is not a Black Ops 2. This is not a COD 4. This is not anything like that. It's exactly what people wanted out of a Call of Duty game. Is it a very small percentage that wanted exactly what's in the game? Absolutely. But at least we didn't get a shit show like we did with Modern Warfare 3. But anyways, like I said, there's a lot of good and bad to take from this game, but if you're going to harp on this game, that this is a terrible game, the franchise is dead, I would actually tend to disagree with you on that. I think that Treyarch made a very good stepping stone in something that not only Treyarch can follow with another game, but other studios can sort of follow suit. I think they made a great move in acquiring Microsoft 2 or 3 years ago. When they acquired them, they said they were going to come out with a base game that was going to be on Game Pass. Now you're going to see every single, that's the other cool thing about Call of Duty. Every single Call of Duty game, regardless of title, regardless of publisher, regardless of developer, is going to be on Game Pass from now on. So if you have a PC and you have a Game Pass subscription, an Ultimate Game Pass subscription, you're going to be able to play every Call of Duty for $20 a month. I've said it in previous videos, you're not missing out on anything. If you do that, you're playing a $60 game for a month for $20. You can't really beat that. So I don't know. I feel like this game was a knock out of the park game and a home run? Absolutely not. I see problems, I see flaws, but they're very nitpicky. And if you are not online with this game, maybe COD's not for you anymore. I mean, the whole thing about Call of Duty is they're supposed to be pushing the envelope, right? But when you push the envelope too far, that's where you start to run into problems and you start overthinking things. I think this game was them going back to the drawing board, going back to the drawing board after 2 games that more or less, I would say, flopped in Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3. Regardless of if you're talking about the campaign or the multiplayer or whatever, I enjoy this game so much more for the fact that it's simple. It's not trying to do too much, in my personal opinion. Now, there are some that will disagree with that, and that's what debate's all about, right? But I digress. Anyways, that's what I sort of think. That's my sort of long and short of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 release, and how I'm playing it and how I'm liking it and that kind of stuff. So I'd love to hear from you guys. I'd really love to hear your comments, really love to hear your debate. If you guys think the other way, if you think it's a piece of crap and nobody should ever play Call of Duty ever again, I want to hear that, because that's how debates are, and that's what makes it fun. So without any further ado, this is your boy Phantxm Stilts. Make sure to like and subscribe if you guys are brand new to the channel. That I would really love that from you guys. You guys have been awesome on the streams, awesome at subscribing, and awesome at watching the content. So I really appreciate that. Again, without any further ado, this is your boy Phantxm Stilts. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care, guys.